Good morning, everybody, or good evening, or good afternoon, or good night, depending on what time you are watching this. It is April 4th, 2023. April 5th. April 5th, Wednesday, 2023. It is 12:18 in the morning, or at night, depending on how you look at it. Okay. This is part 20. The last part, chapter 1. Daniel steals the cottage. Okay. Liz started crying again as she drove away. She loved Ted, but she couldn't imagine what life would be like without Coop. Over the years, he had become her family, her best friend, her brother, her son, her hero. She adored him, and it had taken every ounce of courage and strength she had to agree to marry Ted, and then tell Coop. She hadn't been able to sleep for the past week, and she had felt sick about it all morning before Coop came home. She was grateful Abe had been there to distract her, and as she drove out the main gate, she nearly hit a car driving by. She was totally unnerved. Leaving Coop would be like leaving the convent or the womb. She just hoped she had made the right decision in the end. Coop was still standing in the library when she left and poured himself another glass of champagne. He took a sip and then, still holding the glass, he walked slowly upstairs to his bedroom. He passed a small woman in a white uniform on the way. There was a large stain on the floor of her, or on the front, on the front of her dress that looked like tomato sauce or soup. She was wearing her hair in a long braid down her back, and she was wearing sunglasses, which caught his attention as she vacuumed noisily on the stairs. Paloma? He asked cautiously, as though seeing her for the first time and wishing he hadn't. She was wearing leopard sneakers, which made him wince. Just Mr. Winglow? There was something very independent about her. She didn't remove the glasses, but stood staring at him from behind the dark lenses. It was impossible to guess how old she was, but he assumed somewhere in her middle years. It's Winslow, Paloma. Did you have some sort of an accident? He was referring to the spot on her uniform, which looked as though someone had thrown a pizza at her. We had a spaghetti for lunch. I dropped my spoon on my uniform, and I don't have another one here. Looks delicious, he said, as he wandered past her, still shell-shocked over Liz, and wondering what it was going to be like when Paloma was caring for his wardrobe. And as he closed the door to his bedroom, Paloma stood staring at him and then rolled her eyes. It was the first time he had ever spoken to her, but even for the little she knew of him, she'd never liked him. He went out with women young enough to be his children, and seemed entirely self-involved. She couldn't think of a single thing to like about him, and shook her head disapprovingly as she continued to vacuum the stairs. She wasn't looking forward to being alone in the house with him either. She felt as though she'd drawn the short straw when she found out she was the only one not being fired by the accountants, but she wasn't going to argue about it. She had a lot of relatives in San Salvador to support, and she needed the money, even if it meant working for the likes of him. Okay, that's part 20, the last part of chapter 1. Daniel steals the cottage. So that's all for chapter 1. Thank you for watching.